Hi everyone, and welcome to Walk Away from the Workbook. If you're new here, my name is Nicole Seymour and I'm a kindergarten teacher in California. If you didn't watch my video last week about the importance of phonological awareness, I suggest you go back and watch that now, or this video may not make a lot of sense. So we know now that phonological awareness is one of the most important precursors to being a successful reader. But of course, there are other factors that come into play. And one of those factors is called the alphabetic principle. The alphabetic principle is the understanding that the sounds we are hearing in spoken words and sentences can be represented by letters or letter patterns. That is the code that children need to crack in order to be good readers. In the early stages, the alphabetic principle can just look like children being able to understand that the sound B is represented by the letter B, or the sound K can be represented by the letter C and the letter K, or the letters C and K together. You can do these letter-sound relationships on a daily basis and introduce them in a way that makes sense for your child. Now that we have an understanding of the alphabetic principle, I want to show you an activity that you can do to help your child understand that the sounds they're hearing can be represented by various spelling patterns. We are going to talk today about sorting. Now, I know that sorting is often associated with math, where you're classifying objects or classifying groups, but sorting can be used in literacy as well. I have done so many different types of sorts with my students. We have done them in math. We've done shape sorts, size sorts, color sorts, all kinds of sorts where we split objects into categories. But I've also done sorts with sounds. So I might show them pictures of objects and they will sort those objects into their beginning sounds. So it has nothing to do with words they're seeing, but with the sounds they're hearing. That is what a sound sort is, and I highly recommend using these for children who are struggling with phonological awareness. It really helps if you just do two sounds at a time that are not very similar, so that they can really hear the difference in those two sounds when they're doing words. For example, if you're doing the sound S and M, those two sounds are so different, it would be easier for your child to differentiate between the sounds they're hearing in the word seal and in the word moon. You can do letter sorts, you can do letter and word sorts. So which of these is a letter versus which of these is a word. That is a really good way to see if your child understands that a letter is isolated, but when it's collected together with other letters, it creates a word. Young children also need to understand the difference between letters and numbers. So you can do letter and number sorts. I do those every year at the beginning of the year. You can do uppercase and lowercase letter sorts. You can do different fonts for the same letter so that students have to identify the letter no matter how it looks and no matter what font you're using. With older children or with children who have matured already in their phonological awareness and are ready for a bit more of a challenge and have shown that they understand the alphabetic principle very well, you can start doing spelling sorts to teach them different spelling patterns in words. It's a really great way for our children to visually see how these words are different and what the pattern is with that spelling. For example, how do children know when to do the K sound or the S sound when they come to the letter C, or the G sound or the J sound when they come to a letter G? You need to teach those rules to your child and give them an opportunity to practice using a word sort. Here's how you do it. First, teach them the rule. The rule for soft C and G are very similar. When reading, if you come to a C and it's followed by E, I, or Y, it makes the S sound. Same thing with the letter G. If you come to a letter G and it's followed by E, I, or Y, it's going to say J. What I would do is I would explain these rules to my child and I would give them an opportunity to sort words with a hard C or a K and a soft C or a S based on their spelling patterns. I would also do the same thing for the letter G, soft G and hard G, so J or G. All you have to do is write words on index cards that follow these spelling patterns and then have your child sort them into two piles. Have them read the words to you and explain to you why they put them into those groups. That will help them practice their reading skills and will also reinforce the rule that they just learned about soft C and soft G. It's really important to teach kids the rules for when they hear sounds and when they use certain spelling patterns. So I'm going to use one more example for a word sort. AI and AY. When teaching AI and AY, it's really important to know the rule for when you hear the sound. When you hear a at the beginning or in the middle of a word, it's safe to say that you're probably going to use the AI spelling. Of course, we know there are other ways to spell A. I'm only using the AI and AY as an example for now. When we hear A at the end of a word, a lot of times it's going to be AY. So what you would do is you would have your child listen to certain words and ask them, where do you think the spelling would go? Would it be AI or AY? And what I've done with my students is I've had a list of words either that were spelled AI or AY, and I've said them out loud. We listened for where we hear the sound, and then we write it phonetically on a whiteboard. That way they understand what they're hearing and what they're seeing. You can also do the same thing with AI and AY, where you write words with AI and AY, have your child highlight so that it really sticks in their brain where they're seeing that sound spelling pattern, and have them sort the cards into 2 piles. So that's a brief overview of different types of sorts you might want to do with your child. You can find word sorts online. A lot of different websites have them. A lot of blogs have them. I like to go to teacherspayteachers.com. That's where I get a lot of things I use in my classroom. A lot of their activities are free or they're under $2. So if you're looking for something quick for your child to practice, that is a great website for you to go to. There are also a lot of really fun ways that you can do word sorts in the classroom if you're a teacher. I'm not going to get into all of those now because I'm really here trying to help parents. But if you're a teacher and you want to know more about word sorts and where to find really good ideas for them, please head over to readingsimplified.com for Dr. Marnie Ginsburg's approach to different types of word sorts. Another great website that I love is readingrockets.org. That is another wonderful resource for you as a parent and a teacher. So that was just a really brief introduction to what word sorts are and all of the different ways that you can use them. Picture sorts, sound sorts, letter sorts, word sorts, spelling sorts. The possibilities are truly endless. And kids love sorting. They love putting things into categories, and they love to explain to you why they chose to put them into certain categories. So I highly recommend using sorting as a tool for you to engage your child in learning at home. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. You can leave a comment. You can reach out to me personally. I am here for you, and I am here to support you in helping your child learn at home. As always, if you liked this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.